Okay, it is time for the Rocket Roast. First one is from, how do you pronounce this?
JQ Mon?
JQ Mon. I was gonna say Hamon. But
Hamon.
no.
He's here in the chat, actually. He's like, yeah, how do you say your name, JQ? Am I saying it right? JQ
Oh, he's
Mon?
here. What's up, man? Thank
JQ,
you.
what's up, man?
Shout out to JQ Mon.
All right, let me read out his Rocket Roast entry saying, I'ma say it, bipedal/humanoid starters aren't bad. People just don't like humanoid Pokemon, even though they're Pokemon with the similar anthro traits designs that they adore. Like a Machop line is literally a man. That is true. He is just a dude. And we all know what Pokemon we think of, Lopunny. And I guess Greninja, as much as I love him, gets a pass because he's popular. Though he has some anthro conventions of Masquerada, but more frog-like because he's a frog and not a cat. All right, I think Greninja gets away with it because he's not furry bait.
Yeah, he's more.
I think
frog.
he also gets away with it because he's still primarily a frog.
Yeah, and I think they don't pose him as like a human standing straight up all the time. He's usually in like a hunched over or like really bent down pose like a frog in most of his like scenes and in his gameplay. So
I think it works so well. This is not me glazing Greninja, even though I love him, but like the frog and ninja element blends so well because the stance both works as like a hunched over frog, but also as a ninja like hunched over as well. Like I just think that is just like chef's kiss, bro. That is perfect.
I don't mind when like the humanoid aspect is blended with the animal well, like Greninja, as you just said, or when the Pokemon is like kind of intentionally designed humanoid from the start, like the Machop family, which he mentioned. Like those are fine in my eyes. Some of them are weird, like Mr. Mime and Jinx, but like by and large, I don't think most of them are that bad. But my problem is when you have something like Torracat that turns into an Incineroar out of nowhere. Oh, his legs get beefy. His legs get beefy. He was going to turn to a wrestler. No, you're coping, bro. You're coping.
I hate that argument. That makes no sense, bro. Like he's literally just a cat on all fours, and it looks great. One like S tier middle stage, and then he just stands up and turns into a dude. He just turns into a wrestler out of nowhere. It's really funny. Well, I like Incineroar's design. Don't get me wrong, but it's like the transition is weird.
I don't like when they just turn into a humanoid out of nowhere, and I think a lot of people also don't like when it goes the opposite direction. But like, a lot of people don't like Samurott because he looks nothing like Oshawott. He goes from kind of being bipedal to quadrupedal. And like Samurott in a vacuum is cool, but as a bridge from like Oshawott to Samurott, it kind of doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I think my biggest gripe, especially in more recent generations, I want to say post like maybe not Gen 6, but Gen 7 onward, is that when we get the bipedal starters, like they give them more human traits than usual, because we've had bipedal starters in the past. Look at Blaziken. Blaziken's really cool. He doesn't look like a dude. Like obviously he has like fighting and humanoid elements, but he still looks like a creature. You get a Pokemon like Quaquaval, which I hate, is literally just
a man.
it's just a dancing man. Incineroar is a wrestler, and I like Incineroar, but I also like I wasn't a big fan in the beginning. It grew on me over time, but it literally is just a wrestler in a cat costume. There are some other ones. Cinderace is just a soccer player. Inteleon is just a spy. Like, you know, like Primarina is literally just a mermaid. I mean, I guess the siren or mermaid elements kind of help a little bit with it, but you know, like they give it like very like clear masculine and feminine traits that make it look more like a person than they do like a magical creature that you could have as like a pet or a companion or a partner. You know what I'm saying?
Fair. And which I know we've talked about before. I'm like in the stance. I don't find like a lot of mine are like at least bipedal Pokemon, but I do see like the humanoid aspect of it, because for Meowscarada at first kind of throws me off because it's a furry. That's just what it is.
It's a furry.
I can go to my Comic-Con and literally just see someone wearing that just in a different color.
But Florigado like bridges it well to where you're like, I don't really mind that.
Yeah. So there is some that are a little bit more strange. Like I don't like Primarina. It's too much in my opinion. It's one I don't care about. But like then you do have like bipedal human Pokemon. It's weird because I think it's just more of like the human aspect. It's not necessarily the bipedal aspect, because you have popular picks like Lucario's bipedal. bipedal. You got Zoroark is bipedal, even though he can run all fours, but usually it's bipedal. Cerulege, Armarouge.
Pokemon, yeah, Cerulege and Armarouge is about to say.
I mean, if we get granular, those are just guys with mutton hands and swords.
Yeah.
Spoons and outfits, but like
They're literally wearing armor, bro. They're just knights.
So I think it's just it's the humanoid aspect. Just it needs to feel still very creature while having some of those perspectives of, you know, if it's 6 feet tall, my height, at least like you should look like a beast or a creature, not just straight up like Machoke, a homie down the street that I'm hanging out with. You should not be standing side by side like this.
And this guy is specifically just talking about the starter Pokemon, which again is why we don't really mind the Pokemon that start humanoid in the wild, like Charcadet, and become Cerulege or Armarouge, because like it's always been that way. But kind of like what Zach said earlier, if I pick the little cat guy, I expect that little cat guy to stay relatively consistent throughout my journey. I don't want the rug pulled out from underneath me, like the ninth inning of the game, you know? Like, I don't go, oh no, he looks like this now? Get him out of here.
Yeah. Like, if the Pokemon looks, well, the starter specifically, the starter Pokemon looks like that could be a fur costume, they messed up, in my opinion. They went too far. Again, if it's any other wild Pokemon, that's fine. But like, I feel like for your starter Pokemon, that's supposed to be like, you know, your first partner, like your pet, your best buddy. I don't want it turning into a person. That's just weird. It just feels wrong to me. You know?
Yeah, the bonding concept. Yeah, too much.
It is unsettling. It's like, yeah, your first pet becomes a man.
Oh my god.
So true though. It's true.
Yeah.
That's why I love Dirge, bro, because Dirge is like, nah, I'm keeping these feet down.
Yeah.
Everybody thought I was gonna get up and be a performer, but nah.
I can't wait to see Pokemon Horizons Liko sleeping with her cute little Sprigatito kitty and turn into a full-grown Meowscarada woman.
Oh, yeah, she's gonna be spooning in bed with that Meowscarada. And it's gonna be real
Holding her at night.
Holding hands and stuff as well. Bro.
And they have their starters out the whole series. They never are. They're barely in their Pokeball, so you know that when they're fully evolved, they're sleeping with each other in bed. Take that however you want. All I'm saying is with Skeledirge, sleeping with a Skeledirge ain't gonna be weird. Sleeping with a Masquerade or a Quaquaval, that's a little sus. Dot, I'm sorry. It's looking rough.
Our guy here, JQMon, who did confirm that is how you say his name in the chat, he also said in the chat, Infernape could be a fursuit. He's not wrong, but Infernape is also a monkey.
He's a monkey.
Could have said Delphox. Could have said any other Pokemon. They just said Infernape. That's crazy. But I mean, yes, but also like it's monkey enough to where those are already human-esque already. Humans are like our monkeys are like one of the closest like species to us as humans. So like we're teetering like a very, very fine line already, right?
Also, isn't Infernape like one of the shortest fully evolved starters? So it isn't as weird as like an Incineroar or a Quaquaval where they're literally human height, you know? Like
Caesar from Planet of the Apes was taller. Dog, like we're okay. All right. We're
fine. Just 3'11". Like he's surprisingly small.
He's pretty short. He still passes for, you know, like fun buddy. Incineroar,
he's a short king.
He's a short king. Yes, short king. Exactly. Now Rillaboom, on the other hand, that's just again the monkey elements help a little bit, but he is kind of just a buff dude.
Rillaboom taking the stupid drum out.
I think more Rillaboom is more of the drum because it is just really a gorilla with long hair, dog. It's not like, I will say the concept behind Rillaboom is not huge. It's literally just a gorilla with long hair doing the same knuckle gorilla pose. Like it's just a gorilla on every any head.
Too much. That's taking the human element too far. Like
it's like for me, one that I think is like it's like a weird teeter, but I don't like it as much is like Delphox. I think Delphox is it's too furry. It's in that category where I think it's one I would pass on because it's just too furry, human-esque in my opinion. But that's just me.
You will never catch these allegations from my goat Greninja. Never once will you hear his name in the furry conversation.
Greninja's one of the safest. Like I think it is a lot to do with the pose, and even when it is standing straight up, it's hitting one of the cleanest poses of all. It's literally just standing there, just waiting for something to pop off. You can't really argue that with Greninja. It's too good. So it's probably one of the safest. It is probably the safest bet on the entire starter list. Everything else is pretty still animal at that point. up until I guess obviously like your Gen 8 and obviously Gen 9 Pokemon minus Dirge. So
They're just so good, bro. He's so good. They actually cooked with him.
Has a human element to him. He's kind of a singer, and he has that sort of like career thing that they've been doing with starter Pokemon for a while. But they integrate it well. Like he's still a crocodile first, and a singer second. Whereas Quaquaval is just a human dancer dude first and a duck second.
Yikes!
I'm looking because there are other bipedal starters like Empoleon. I don't really like Empoleon that much, but I will say design wise, it doesn't lean to like it's not like a dude, you know. I think he is very clearly like a Pokemon. He is very clearly a penguin.
He's still a emperor penguin. He's not
he feels penguin. So you're usually set right there.
Or like for alligator as well. For alligator stands on 2 legs. He's very clearly an alligator. Even Emboar. I don't like Emboar.
Decidueye is another good example of like, you know, the sniper motif is integrated well with the owl because the owl already kind of stands like that.
Yeah. But Quaquaval, I'm sorry, bro. I don't think I'll ever like fully like that Pokemon. It just looks. If Quaquaval was like some random Pokemon in the wild, I would have been like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool, whatever. Not my cup of tea, but maybe I'll grow to like it. But as a starter, I just can't get around a kid picking a duck and turning into this fully grown man, bro. This fully caked up man. They just don't sit right with me. I'm sorry.
He is caked up.
Yeah. There's some options.
That was a good debate though. We didn't fully roast this take, but we did give our opinion on why.
Both sides to the coin.